And I think this march will go down as one of the greatest, if not the greatest, demonstrations for freedom and human dignity ever held in the United States.
That's Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. speaking to reporters before delivering his iconic I Have a Dream speech at the 1963 March on Washington. 58 years ago, Reverend King led more than 250,000 demonstrators to the steps of the Lincoln Memorial to witness the historic event. The moment has now weaved its way into a fabric of American history. Thousands of activists are expected to gather nationwide to commemorate the 1963 March on Washington this weekend. Civil rights leaders are organizing marches in Washington, Houston, Miami, and more than 40 other cities. Most are demanding federal legislation to fight back against new voter restriction rules they say are intended to make it harder for minorities and young people to vote. For more, I want to bring in Martin Luther King III. He's the son of civil rights icon Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. Mr. King, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us today. What exactly can we expect at the marches, and who's taking part?
We have people from all over this country. It's a diverse coalition. Over 180 organizations have signed on, and there will be activations in over 50 communities around this nation. What we are saying is that it is wrong to restrict the rights of voters, and that we must ensure that everyone has the right to vote unencumbered, and voting rights should be expanded. People last year were told to come out and vote, and they did in mass numbers, more than ever before. So why then, since January 6th, have there been 400 bills passed to restrict people's ability to vote? That, to me, is sad. So, of course, the United States House has passed the John Lewis bill. Now it is up to the Senate to pass the John Lewis bill so that these rights can be extended, not reduced.
The demonstrations will call on Congress to pass the John R. Lewis Voting Rights Act and the For the People Act. How will these two pieces of legislation impact black communities, and what's the danger if they are not passed?
The danger of these bills not being passed is, as I've stated, many states, 18 now, it may be 20 by now, that have voted on laws to reduce. For example, the areas where absentee balloting was great, reducing the areas where you can drop ballots off. In my state, they even have the committee has voted to this legislature, if they don't like the results of the nonpartisan election in a county, they can change those election results. But these laws are making it harder to vote. And so my point is, if we're not able to pass the John Lewis bill in the Senate, where preclearance exists, the preclearance provision says that the Justice Department will overlook what is happening in states so that no discrimination occurs. That is what is so important. And I think that people are going to continue to demand that this happen, and ultimately we will get some action.
You've followed in your father's footsteps when it comes to activism, and now you're a proud father to a young activist yourself. How does that make you feel, and what is your message to other young people who may be considering doing the same?
So first of all, I think I've learned in my life, we've been so fortunate that our daughter has chosen to be an activist. She will be speaking, of course, tomorrow at the march and sharing her own message as to why young people should participate. But this generation is different than what we've seen. We saw demonstrations all over this nation and really all over the world last year, tragically, after the death of George Floyd. So we know young people are engaged, young people are interested, young people want to move this nation forward. And those who want to move the nation backward or stand still, that's just not going to happen. Things are going to continue to move forward. Sometimes there are battles that we have to fight over and over again. It is said that the people that do not remember their history are doomed to repeat the mistakes of the past. And so we are moving forward, and I'm just excited about what I see in terms of the young people who are coming to the table, who are demonstrating all over America and really all over the world.
Well, we're all looking forward to the march tomorrow. Martin Luther King III, thank you so much, sir.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Live coverage of the March on Washington and events throughout the country starting at noon Eastern on Saturday right here on CBSN.